You know who made it.
Live from LinkedIn, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, X, and Twitch. It's Revening's Wednesday. Welcome to Wednesday, Revenue Party people. We've got our weekly hot topics, hot prizes, and even hotter guests. So let's get right into it. I'm going to cut right to the chase, get through the intro really quick. And I'm going to do that just by playing a few, or you'll see the screenshots moving with the different QR codes throughout the show. And I just ask that you check them out. It's StreamYard. That's what I'm using to stream on tonight. That's what I coach on. I love this tool. You should go live on LinkedIn. They require a third-party tool, and StreamYard is a preferred LinkedIn vendor. I digress. Check out my affiliate link. And then high level, thank you to them for sponsoring. And Cherry Assistant will be seeing some messages from them at intermission. But for now, I digress. I want to bring in our amazing guest because we have an amazing show planned for you with a live landing page build for the Sendoso, which if you haven't heard of Sendoso, I don't know, you must be living in a cave. Go check them out. It's a gifting platform and it's really awesome. It's especially awesome for salespeople who want to send gifts very simply to their teams, but you'll be hearing more about that here in just a moment. But I want to introduce you to this week's really amazing guests, Lashay Lewis and Taz Bober. Thank you so much for joining.
Hey.
Yay. I'm here. I'm like excited and I'm sleepy because everyone's heard me talk about how this is way past my bedtime, but we're going to go. We're going to go.
I mean, you're here.
Yeah,
At first, I didn't even think she was going to come, Lashay, and you're like,
Yeah.
no, she's joking.
We had to twist her arm a little bit, but she here. She gonna listen.
And I'm so glad because then it come to find out you're like 2 blocks away from me, literally. Like,
yes. 2
And
blocks. We can walk to each other's houses. We went and met for coffee and it was amazing. So we got to actually have a live event before our live event.
Yes. So grateful to have another LinkedIn friend, local. Well, I say another, but I don't really have too many. And now we're going to Vermont together to the Exit 5 event, which Lashay, you're like basically the star of the show.
Oh
God. No shade to anybody else on the show.
I'm
super excited to be speaking. Like, I am nervous. I've never spoken in front of anybody going from 0 to 200. So, but I'm excited to give you guys some really good stuff. And yeah, I hope to see a lot of you guys there. I want to meet y'all in person.
If anyone's going to Exit 5's event, put it in the comments. I want to see because we're going to be there, and I will definitely stay way up past my bedtime. So
Same.
Yes.
I'm going. Cannot wait. Taz, have you scheduled your flight? We have to book flights
no,
together.
I know I need to schedule my flight. I'm awful at this, but I'm
And
trying to jump on the VA train so they can help out with a little bit of this stuff.
ooh, that's a good idea. Great idea. And so, also, everyone, as you're plugging into the comments to let us know if you're going to Exit 5, also let us know where you're tuning in from. Like, are you also in my neighborhood here in Westerville, Ohio? That would be great to know. But you never know. There might be someone just around the corner also talking on LinkedIn right now. But I'm going to get right into our introductions. And as I told you pre show, the way we do this is we want to know what we can't find out on LinkedIn, like the full life story from birth to what brought you to now. So we'll go ahead and start with you, Taz. Could you tell us your full life story? I'm going to put up the 2-minute clock, so not too much, but just right.
Oh my gosh, y'all aren't ready. Okay. I'm half Thai, half Indian. I grew up in India. I was born and raised there. I left after high school. I wanted to come to the US, but I graduated high school at 16, and my mom said, absolutely not sending my 16-year-old daughter to go to the US. And so we moved to Thailand at that point. I went to school in Thailand, and then I moved to the US about like 14, 15-ish years ago. And then I thought that I'd live in a big city, but I've lived in the Midwest since. And I was whisked away to Ohio by my husband, and I'm just living the very suburban American dream of, house, kids, daycare, cost of living, all that good stuff. Career wise, I started working at an NBC TV station. I worked there for 6 years, everything from managing the website all the way to selling digital advertising. And I just kind of fell in love with real time numbers. Shout out to Chartbeat, the OG before GA4, well, before GA and then GA4. And and then moved into tech, where I eventually led a couple of B2B digital marketing and website teams. My claim to fame is that I have somehow been traumatized by working with 400 websites. And so I've made a lot of mistakes, which has got me here to hopefully make less mistakes for anybody I work with in the future. So there you go. Is that everything? Oh, I met my husband on Tinder. If that is not on LinkedIn. So even my dating life is very, hashtag digital marketing. So I swiped right, and here we are.
Full circle.
Full circle.
I love it. She's a digital girl, digital woman, digital wife. I don't know.
Yeah, all of it.
I love it. Thank you so much for sharing, Taz.
Yeah.
And Lashay, could you also, I'm going to start the clock on over here. We want to know your full life story and what brought you to be an expert like you are. But we want to know also, like, from birth to now, just like with Taz. So I'm going to put up the 2-minute clock. Could you tell us your story?
All right. So I was born in the US, y'all, but I was born and raised in Baltimore, Maryland. For anybody that knows anything about Baltimore, it's a little rough here, y'all. So, when I was coming up, I was always interested in computers and things like that. So, fast forward through childhood a little bit, getting more into computers, I started teaching myself affiliate marketing when I was maybe about 14, 15 or so. And then in my early 20s, I started working across content marketing agencies. I worked a little bit in-house. And then that experience from being a teen and teaching myself all of that stuff was helping to be able to qualify me to get jobs that I technically wasn't qualified for, because I didn't hold a bachelor's. I didn't hold any of these, like any of these diplomas or anything, right? So everything is self-taught. Of course, some amazing courses and stuff out there too, but a lot of the stuff is self-taught. So early 20s working across agencies and in-house, I started in e-commerce. Again, because when I was building the affiliate sites, all of my affiliate OGs know we would have the Amazon link and you put it in your website and you get that small, tiny commission. Y'all remember that? And then from there, I found the world of SaaS and I absolutely hated it because I was like, you know what, this is boring, it's confusing, I don't want to do this. But some reason I tend to be attracted to confusing things and challenges. Sometimes I kick myself in the ass for it, but here we are. Um, I'm married. I've got 4 kids. I married my high school sweetheart. And yeah, here I am. I'm a B2B content marketing consultant. Y'all listen to me every day on LinkedIn. I'm just here on the internet spewing my thoughts, and I love that y'all follow me for it, and I love that y'all love it.
That's so exciting. I love that. And 4 kids. Oh my gosh. How do you get anything done? I have got 2, and I'm like,
Husband. Hey,
husband.
good hashtag good husbands for the win.
Yes,
Yeah,
hashtag
for
good
sure.
husband for the win. For
Yes.
sure. What does that mean to you, just out of curiosity?
What?
When you say hashtag good husband for the win, like
Somebody that supports you. Because again, a lot of my 20s was like failing and failing and failing, and so many business ideas, everything from like trading to MLMs to every business idea you could think of. And he's been there to support me through all of it. He's always like, I support you even when I'm down on myself, even when I was a freelancer and had to stop and go back in-house again. And quite frankly, that was like the best decision I ever made that really positioned me for everything else that happened. But he's always that one there, you know, that's like sometimes you got to take a step back to take a step forward. And even when I trip and fall, he's there to catch me. So it's nothing like having somebody in your corner like that. It's a literal cheat code.
Oh, I love that so much. Thank you for sharing. And yeah, I guess when you say that, what I think about is my husband cooks dinner. I'm like, I love that. For me, for tonight, like that was great. On Wednesdays, I'm not thinking about food. But like there's all just like different things. So I'm always just curious, like, where does your head go to when you think that?
Yeah.
But I digress on like the personal stuff because we've got some B2B marketing stuff to get into. But keep us honest from the comments, y'all. Remember, this whole conversation is for the audience. So ask your questions, share your feedback. We're live. Just put it up there. We've got Sabrina here with Cherry Assistant helping us filter comments and showing us them on the screen. So thank you to Sabrina. But we're going to get right into it. So our first topic is mapping out the buyer's journey, ICP, problems, product, and sales process. So Taz, could you kick us off on this topic?
Yes, absolutely. So in the intro, you saw that we were kind of topsy-turvy, but I'll be taking this one. And just so everybody knows, Lashay and I kind of shared this initial process together. But before we even start, shout out to the Sendoso team for volunteering to be tribute. They are obviously a gifting platform, so it's nice to be able to gift back to these awesome human beings. And hopefully, Lashay and I have put in some pre-work to this. And Austin, if you're listening, this is something that you can literally take and launch tomorrow if you guys wanted to. So yes, this will be recorded and will be available on YouTube and everything else. So you can completely focus. You don't have to take notes while you got a drink in hand. All right. I am going to share my screen, and this might be in audio format as well. Actually, it will be. So we'll make sure to try and verbalize as much of this as possible. So if you're listening on audio, that this would make sense. Okay. Ready, set, go. Okay. Let's see. I'm going to share my screen. And all righty. Okay, guys. So first, I want to introduce you to this workspace. We just use Figma. This is FigJam specifically. And how this all came about was once I worked from in-house to out-house. That's what I call it. But Jesse told me that I can't be completely unhinged on here. But I've worked in-house majority of my career, 99% of the time. And so I had a lot of runway and time to get onboarded onto the product, understand what we were marketing. But as a consultant, I had to come up with a way to get up to speed quickly. Same with Lashay, right? How do we learn about the product? Because you can sit here and pump out a bunch of blog articles or a bunch of landing pages, but if you don't understand what you're marketing and to whom, then that's going to be a problem. That's going to directly impact the quality of your output. So this was more of a back end exercise. And then a client saw it and she was like, how do I get access to this thing? So I called it the buyer's journey map, which is me embedding myself in the shoes of the buyer and walking through essentially the multiple interactions that they would have, with the brand, potentially with the product, in order to consider you for evaluation. So some assumptions before we jump into this. One, the buyer is likely problem aware. They are also likely solution aware. And at this stage, they're kind of evaluating their options in the market. And our whole purpose is to get them to contact you, right? So then at that point, we pass the baton on, and hopefully you have an awesome sales team that can secure the deal. But our philosophy is very much give the buyer all the information they need in order to self-qualify. And then they come to you, and then they're more high quality in terms of the meetings that that you're able to secure, which ironically is also what Sendoso does from a gifting angle, right? So those human touch points to get meetings going. So I don't get to see you guys while I'm doing this. So if there's any questions, Jesse, please stop me, because I'm not looking at our screen here where I have everybody on here. Yeah. So just stop me because I'm not looking at the comments. All right. Very quickly, because we have a lot to cover today. So if y'all are drinking, you might have to watch the recording again. Be like, what was she saying? It might be a dream. Okay. So the first thing is to get an understanding of the market, 30,000 foot view. So looking at that, we want to understand what product category you're even playing in, right? And so for Sendoso, in the most clearest form, you are a direct mail and gifting platform, right? That is what people associate you with. You can call yourself multiple things and multiple variations and try that out. But in essence, this is what they would be utilizing you for. And then we also, Lashay and I like to layer on what people are actually searching for, because vernacular matters, right? One of our clients, actually a shared client of ours, is a security questionnaire automation software. And that's what they call themselves. That's on every single page of their website. And then we find out that what users are actually looking for is vendor risk assessment software. So completely different language. And then that impacts the traffic that's coming to the page as well, right? So we always try to marry that external perception and that internal perception and meet them in the middle. The Instagram versus reality, we're trying to meet in the middle to make sure that you're not completely catfishing your buyer, right? Wow, I came up with that on the fly. That was pretty good. Trademark. Okay. The next thing is understanding the positioning anchor, which is, are you positioning against like an incumbent in the market? So maybe like Airbnb versus like Verbo, for example, or are you positioning against making a workflow more efficient? So in this case, it's more of a use case, right? So sending customized gifts, experiences to prospects, customers, and employees to drive higher engagement. That's like high level. Also, Sendoso has multiple ICPs. Also, caveat. If I'm misrepresenting Sendoso in any of this, that is completely on me. We obviously haven't had conversations with the team. They've been very kind, and
they're welcome to come on the show. Like if they want to DM me, I'll give them an invite link. They can come
amazing. Yeah. They're more than welcome to come here and tell me that I'm just completely out of my mind. But this is mostly, I would say, 90% external perception. But if we were to work together, it would be completely different, because we would have a lot more access to the internal documentation. But I don't, this is me making a lot of assumptions. So that's the big caveat. But I think this, in the context of an example, is going to work better. So from an ICP perspective, there's kind of 4 departments that they can serve, right? So marketing, sales, customer success, and HR. For today's exercise, we're only going to focus on marketing, and that's from a direct mail, demand gen, ABM standpoint, and to help us drive high quality meetings. That's like the use cases and the benefits and the immediate outcomes that we're going to focus on. And then obviously from sales, customer success, HR, they could use it for a variety of use cases like deal acceleration, building rapport, onboarding, renewals, that kind of stuff. Okay. Questions. I'm going to flip over real quick. Love a good Figma jam. Catfishing a buyer, TM. Thank you very much. Yeah, I know, Carly. That's crazy, right? Okay, cool. Awesome. So this is a little bit of a light version because usually I would fill this out completely. So typically when we work with companies, they'll give us battle cards that they have for competitors in the market. We look at who, what the strengths are of the competitors, how, what their weaknesses are, and then how Sendoso can actually win against them, right? And we do have frameworks for the us versus them. They do well. But in the initial foundational pieces that you're setting out, you're not going to go right out the gate and be like, I'm going to just go head on, attack reach desk and go for it. We're still laying the foundation of like, can we do this and play nice in the sandbox, but also showcase our differentiation? So this is where I look at that information and then extract kind of the us versus them value theme. So we bucket the competitors kind of together and we talk about us versus them, right? So if we're using Calendly as an example, so for Calendly, it's like the calendar offering is their main product versus everybody else is, it's an add-on product. So there's not a lot of innovation there. So that's kind of an example of something we look at without having to call out HubSpot or Google Meet or Teams or whatever the case may be. The other thing on the right side is sometimes you're not competing directly with competitors. You're just also looking at what users or buyers are doing today. Because if anybody listens to the GOAT, April Dunford, she will tell you that you will lose more deals to indecision than you will to a competitor, right? So the indecision comes from what are their behaviors today and what are they doing? And so more than likely in this case, they are doing it manually, or they're using some tools like Excel or something like that to, kind of cobble together a solution and try to manage it. But the risks are it's time consuming, tedious. There's just going to be multiple vendors you are dealing with. The price is probably going to be too high. It's a terrible experience because if your sales team and the marketing team are both sending gifts to the same person, it could be the cookie cutter or double packaging or like a terrible experience, right? Altogether. So there's a lot of risks that come with not managing it all in one place. And one more thing in terms of what I've experienced. Oh, go ahead.
I was just like a huge waste of budget. Like, can you imagine you're like your marketing team sending someone like some whiskey, and then like the sales team's coming in and sending them, I don't know, some whiskey glasses or something like that?
Yeah. And it's just sometimes you're having multiple conversations, and then it's a clear indicator that sales and marketing aren't talking to each other, right? Because you're inviting them to like a webinar and you're sending out these webinar packages, but then sales is sending them something else. And so it's kind of disjointed. And then not to mention, the excessive spend. The other piece is there's kind of what I call, when I was in-house, we had the marketing closet, right? Which I call the marketing orphanage. It's like all the swag that you did not end up using, or the stuff that you ordered and wasted materials, wasted costs. And then God forbid there's a year printed on it and the year has passed by. Now you have all this 2023 stuff and you can't like move past it. So a lot of wasted budget as well there. Okay. I'm going to speed through this. So ideal world is just essentially if Sendoso didn't exist, none of the competitors existed. If the buyer could conjure up a perfect solution in their mind, what would that be? And this is more of a creative exercise to understand, are we meeting those check marks and those boxes? Is that on the roadmap? Is that something? And so Sendoso may not fit the bill completely in here, but it just gives them an idea of like, okay, let's try to put ourselves in the buyer's shoes. What can we give them? And what can we meet right now? Okay, shout out to Fletch. Anybody in the LinkedIn world probably knows who they are. Anthony, Perry, Robert Kraminski. So they, for me as a growth demand gen digital marketer, I didn't pay a lot of attention to product marketing when I was internal. I had product marketers who were amazing and I trusted their stuff and went for it and didn't challenge or didn't think to like ask questions about it because you're moving so fast. once I came out and I was like, okay, I kind of have to put a product marketing hat on. And no one explained it like I was 5, like these guys. And thanks to their mentorship in the business and stuff for both of our businesses, they're letting me borrow their value proposition canvas that basically helps me understand the product. However, if you need positioning and messaging help, they're the ones to help you. This is purely for Lashay and I to understand the product, and make sense of all of the features that you have and what it enables your ICP to do. Okay, so this is where I'm not going to read through all the features, I promise, but all the features can be found here. How many times have you gone to a blog page or a landing page and it's just a feature dump, right?
Please,
So,
no.
yeah, please, no. So imagine, and I told Lashay, this is a terrible analogy, and I told her I wouldn't use it, but here I am using it because I'm unhinged tonight. You walk into an ice cream shop and you're like, all right, cool. What are the flavors? And someone's like, okay, hold on. I got 300 here. Let me just read them all out to you real quick. And you're sitting there, you're overwhelmed, you're irritated, you don't understand, like there's no rhyme or reason to it. And so I think that what happens there is they're going to bounce because it's just too much information, and people love context, right? Context can come in examples, stories, whatever, but even context of like what you enable someone to do with grouping some of those together. So what I call them, am I still sharing? I think I am, right? Okay. So going back to this, we list out all the features, we map out all the use cases, how they're doing it today, what the problem is with the way that they're doing it right now, and then what the feature enables them to do, and then what the Fletch guys call the first order benefits. So like what is the immediate thing that helps them, that this feature helps them accomplish. So if you're thinking about, I think they say like fifth order benefits is like pipeline and revenue. But if you go to Asana's homepage and you go to like someone else's, like in a totally different category, like Okta or something, they both talk about how they are going to help you generate revenue, while your differentiation kind of gets lost in that piece. So we're looking at what are the like first or second order ones. And then the further you get away from that, the more vague you become. So we split out these features and we essentially, I know it's probably needs to be zoomed in a little bit more. So we extracted 3 value themes here. Typically there's 3 to 4, but essentially you can see that we've bundled some of these together. So I'll use this as an example where you have some of the direct mail, the gift selection, bundling choices, vendor options, meeting scheduler. You have custom boxes and branded swag so that you can put your company stuff on there. You have Smart Send, which is a newer feature, right? AI enhanced gifting. It's going to help you be way more efficient, making recommendations based on the recipient's interests. And then from an admin perspective, just helping teams with their own budgets, permissions, and control, do some of that gifting governance. Is that a term? Can we coin that term, gifting governance? And then you can see, instead of saying, okay, here's all of these features, now you can pull it into Sendoso simplifies the process of selecting, right here, selecting, sending, and managing gifts with a wide range of options and integrated vendor solutions. It enables marketers to create branded and professional looking gifts effortlessly and use Smart Send to personalize gifts at scale, saving time and driving high quality meetings. You can see that I didn't actually include this in here. Sometimes some features aren't like strong enough to stand on their own, but they can be weaved into things like FAQs, right? So we went in and we did the same thing with the others, but I won't go through them here. We'll actually go through them on the pages themselves. So from a proof standpoint, I do 2 things. One is the owned testimonials that Sendoso has sourced from their own customers. And then I do source testimonials, which is from agnostic sites. And I say agnostic like this because sometimes they pay to play. But I have a feeling that Sendoso doesn't need to pay to play because it is a good product. They are kind of like the category. I would call them like category kings in this area. So I'm sure people are giving them a lot of feedback without having to, incentivize them. So source testimonials coming in from sites like G2, Capterra, Trustpilot. Sometimes Reddit has some nice things to say. Most of the time it's not, but it's good feedback for anyone to have. Look at pricing, handling the objections and the FAQs. And finally, what is the ask? And one of the biggest mistakes I see is that we don't prepare the buyer for what they're giving us in exchange for their time or their information, two of the most valuable things that they have today. So setting the expectation there, which I did get this information from Sendoso, so thank you guys again. But yeah, now keep this all in the back of your mind, and I'm going to toss this over to Lashay, who's going to show you how this whole journey actually informs your organic content strategy. I will keep sharing though, Jesse, and then that way we're not flip-flopping with the screens.
Sure.
And I'll keep following as Lashay is going.
Sounds good. So yeah, are you going to take us off into topic 2 then, Lashay?
Yes, BOFU content. Where my BOFU people at? Where y'all at?
Not me. I'm a top of the funnel gal.
You're a top of see? I don't know about you. No, I'm kidding. All of it plays a part in the buyer's journey.
Yes.
All right. So can you guys see the screen? Taz the screen? Because you're still sharing? Okay, there we go. All right. So when we get all that information that Taz just told you about, just like the competitive positioning, in this case, we're doing more contextual positioning. One of the biggest problems I see with companies is they create what I call a blanket content strategy, right? Blanket meaning that they write all of their content in a vacuum. So essentially what that means is if they write a bottom of funnel piece, they think it's talking to everybody, when in fact it's not talking to everybody. You're talking to a specific segment, right? So depending on the type of SaaS company you work with, or what type of, the way your clients want to break this down, it can be broken down by ICP. It could be broken down by buyer persona. It's a lot of different ways we can break this down. So here we kind of broken this down by use case. So we have marketing, sales, customer success, and I believe like people's teams and HR is the last one, but just for example purposes, I put these here.
Hey, Lashay, real quick. Katie Penner is asking, can you zoom in on this at all?
Yes. Oh, Taz, zoom in.
I guess that's Taz. Yeah, thanks, Taz.
Okay. So essentially, for anybody that knows me, of course, I love to start bottom of funnel. And the reason is, again, like Taz said before, at this point, the people that are looking for your solution are problem aware and they're solution aware. So at this point, we don't have to do much convincing of like, oh, top corporate gifts and things like that's more top of funnel, where we're trying to educate the person on the category in general. Once we get to bottom of funnel, they have already been previously educated, whether it's been by you or your competitors. And then once we get in here, the type of bottom of funnel keyword. So bottom of funnel means a lot of different things to a lot of different people. When I say bottom of funnel, I specifically mean the content that's sitting on the blog. Even more specifically, I mean comparison pages. So best versus an alternative. And again, after doing this for 10 plus years, these are the types of keywords that convert better than anything else that I've seen. So starting with that, the keyword that we're going to dive into today, and again, I just filled this out just for example purposes, but these are actual keywords I would go after Sendo. So take them notes, y'all. The one we're going to do today is best corporate gifting software. That's going to be the one we do today for example purposes, right? Okay. So again, you breaking out your content strategy into 3 different segments, or however many segments your SaaS serves. That's how we're going to start that off. Okay. So now we're going to dive into the actual comparison page itself, and we're going to break down how this is written based on the customer information that we collected prior. So first of all, Taz talked about marrying how people see your product with what they're searching, right? So in this case, the marriage between that is going to be best corporate gifting platform. Any of my SEOs know. And this is, side rant. The most important places to include your keywords in order to rank are going to be the URL, the H1, and sometimes in the first 100 words of the content. Usually I do that. For preference, I don't use any SEO tools, y'all. The only thing I use is Ahrefs. Shout out Ahrefs. And that's for keyword research. I don't use any other SEO tools. So diving into this, when we first start in our introduction, where a lot of companies make the mistake is they write bottom of funnel introductions the same way they write top of funnel introductions. If y'all think melatonin puts you to sleep fast, oh, melatonin has nothing on a boring intro. If somebody comes in and that intro isn't hitting them, bam, right away, like they're going to bounce. So the important thing that I realize with introductions is you either want to lead with pain points or you want to lead with benefits. All right. So in this circumstance, I'm leading with pain points. So the first pain point, time consuming and an inconsistent process, lack of control and oversight, tedious management, inadequate tracking and reporting. Again, we're touching on each one of those pain points that are super important. Right after the intro, I have the first call to action. So for reference, I use 3 call to actions per BOFU post. This is going to be the first call to action. The first thing we do after we write the intro is we dive right into the product. So Sendoso had this cool little video that we grabbed. And I figured, you know what? Usually people will put like a screenshot of their homepage here, and that's totally fine. For this, I wanted to add a video into it. Little back-end things like, it increases session duration and things like that because they're sitting, they're watching, they're able to grasp the information more quickly. So when you come here, we have a little bit of a brief introduction about Sendoso, what it is. And then immediately after that, we start diving into features, okay? So Taz talked about feature dumping. The way we avoid feature dumping in this is we want to tie each feature we talk about back to the pain points we previously listed above, right? So that first pain point was time-consuming and inconsistent processes. The feature that's going to solve that pain point is automated and personalized sending, right? Typically, we want to have a feature photo in here, again, just to make it more sticky to the potential prospect when they're reading. We want to have that in here. Usually I start off right under the feature image. I start off by materializing the problem one more time, right? So again, this is the information that we collected in the buyer's journey canvas. So I start off by talking about what life is going to be like if they do not have inventory management, right? The problems with it, the difficulty with it. Right after I talk about that, I lead directly into how Sendoso solves the problem, right? Something really important that a lot of people don't include is contextual examples in their content. Contextual examples are so important because it really, again, it materializes how Sendoso or enter your product helps the client. And the thing is, I feel like people forget it is because they're so focused on feature that they don't think to tell a story in the process of talking about the feature, right? So when I say contextual example, I mean contextually, how does your product fit into their workflow? A good way to think about this is if you want to include contextual examples in your article, I always say they start with things like, for example, let's say, imagine this, right? So as we continue to move down, we have remote inventory management. Again, that solves the second pain point that we mentioned in the intro of lack of control over insight. And then again, we get into the problem. Then we start diving into how Sendoso solves the problem. And then we get into a contextual example. And we literally keep repeating this process per feature that we go over. And again, one more time, each feature is going to link back to the pain point that we mentioned in the intro. Again, talking about what the problem is, leading into Sendoso, and then talk about, imagine a marketing team, imagine this, let's say, for example. So we have these in here. And again, we're going to do this for every feature. It's going to keep repeating. And then we're going to have one more call to action after we talk about those core features. So for reference, I like to include at least 4, no more than like 6. 6 might be even pushing it a little bit because we don't want to overwhelm them. We also always want to make sure, and Taz's OCD is kicking in. Y'all see how she's moving the call to action and stuff. I make fun of her for that all the time. But if you see how we have this positioned, we have a call to action right under the features that we have. before we even get into competitors, again, this is the second call to action that's going to be in the piece itself. After we've dove into the features that we want to talk about, again, one more side note, the features that you talk about should be congruent with the use case that you're serving, okay? So for example, in here, we don't want to necessarily talk about features that customer success would lean more towards, but we want to talk about the features that marketing would lean towards, again, because if you look at, remember that canvas that we had, we're under the segment of marketing or the use case of marketing. So we want to make sure the features are congruent with that use case always. All right. So moving down to the other competitors, again, for the sake of this not being miles long, I condensed down the overview of the other competitors. So I get pushback so much from so many different people on, oh, I don't want to include my competitors and I don't want to talk about them. And, we don't want to talk bad about them. Here's the thing. The person that's reading the article is going to go look up your competitors anyway. 9 times out of 10, they have your tab open and 3 or 4 other tabs open that are actually your competitors. And what they're doing is they're probably matching the problems that you're listing. They're matching the features that you have versus the features that the other person has. So what I tell people is that you can either control the narrative of your company or you can let Capterra and G2 and all these other companies control your narrative, right? So side ran over. When you put this information in here, I don't overthink it too much. I try to find as much information as I can. Again, the most important company information that you have is internal. It's not external. So you're only going to be able to find so much stuff on the public facing website. So again, we grab what we can find and we put it in here. Again, I like to flush this out a little bit more than this, maybe like include some high level features that they have and things like that. But all in all, we come down here and I like to include 4 competitors in this. Again, I don't want to make it too long. This is long form content. People are going to be reading it. But again, grab the information that you can find that's public facing, again, because you don't have access. All that stuff we just showed you, like the canvas and all that, like you guys don't have access to that information for your competitors. I know y'all wish y'all did, but we don't have access to that information, right? So we have to find, we have to put what we can find. So we've got their top competitors that we find, which is Reach Desk, Postal, Corporate Gift, Zest, right? And we have overviews of each one of those companies. And then something that I don't see a lot of people doing, I see so many articles where the conclusion just says conclusion. Like, come on, y'all. We can get a little more creative than that, right? So I like to tell people use the conclusion or actually position the conclusion as the final call to action, right? So instead of just having conclusion here, this is much more compelling and it's your last chance to be able to convert that potential prospect that's on the article to your solution. Again, this is the last, and some people might argue, well, they might not even get to the bottom of the article. One thing to note is that the knowledge level of a person looking for bottom of funnel content is way, way higher than somebody looking for top of funnel content. What that means is they've probably been tasked by a VP of marketing or somebody to say, okay, hey, go find this solution for us. So they're reading. I've seen session duration time as long as 4 minutes on bottom of funnel articles. So they're reading through this heat maps and all this other stuff we look at, all this other data we look at. So this is one final time to be able to convert that prospect. So this is one long form bottom of funnel piece here. So what Taz is going to do next is she's going to roll over to the paid ad landing page and pay close attention, guys, because you're going to see a lot of congruencies between the comparison page and the paid ad landing page, again, because they play off of one another, and Taz will get deeper into that.
Okay. Everyone still with us? Yes.
Y'all
Say
sleep
yes.
Oh, I'm here, but I'm on mute. Is this us moving into topic 3, using the buyer journey map to create a foundational paid landing page and distribution strategy?
Yes.
Yes. Now we're going into Tassa's land right here. See, we want Lashay's land. We're
That's
going to
my
Tassa's land.
I think you have to zoom in a little bit. We keep
Oh, I will.
hearing
Don't
that.
worry. Don't worry.
She just
Don't
want to show
worry.
off a little bit and show y'all all the stuff she got in there. That's all that
I
was.
did.
Oh,
I
it's
do want.
so
I did
cool.
want to
I was
show
so
off.
impressed first time you guys
Thank
showed
you.
me the
Thanks.
Stigma
Please.
activity.
Thank you. Please, everybody, tell me how impressed you are. Okay.
Yes, we want to hear from the comments. Like, what do you all think? Like, keep us alive here. Are we boring you? Let us know.
Is this a lot? This is a lot for a Wednesday, but you know,
We've got a lot of salespeople here, so I know they're like, why are we talking about BOFU? What the fuck is BOFU? Whoops, am I supposed to say that?
oh, you just got kicked off Facebook, girl.
Probably just got kicked off Facebook. That's okay, because who's on Facebook anyway?
Okay. I want to level set on just landing pages in general. I say frameworks fine. They're more guidelines. I don't have like hard frameworks that I stick by, but I look at them topically and in themes of what a buyer would look at, right? And I call it the Chipotle effect or Chipotle framework because you can see here the ingredients that we got from the buyer's journey. It's the same ingredients all the time, right? Your value propositions, your features, the problems and pain points of the market, the ideal situation that they would like, the social proof, all of those things are different components, right? They're the meat and the tortillas and the rice and the whatever. And then each landing page, one of the mistakes I made when I was in-house and I see happening is we just keep churning these landing pages out. And unlike blog content, where people are trying to keep up and put out a bunch of volume, from a paid landing page perspective, like that just leads to technical debt because typically they're non-index, no follow. You're not supposed to really search, be able to find them on Google or any other search engine because you are testing and iterating rapidly over time based on feedback from your target audience, right? So then that becomes hard to manage when you have 50, 60, 70 landing pages. And yes, companies have that many landing pages. And they come to me, they're like, can you audit? I'm like, I'm auditing nothing. We will start from scratch, just like, those shows where you just like wipe the table and you just throw everything away. Just throw everything away. Let's just throw it all away. And so I just like to level set with that Chipotle framework, which is you don't have to reinvent the wheel. You don't have to worry about duplicating content. You are going to essentially utilize the same ingredients, but you're going to package it differently, right? Your product page might be the quesadilla. Your comparison page is the burrito. Your trust page is the burrito bowl. Your tacos is the pricing. And then, I think it's a salad, whatever. Salad is for this. I'm waiting for Chipotle to come after me for using the images, but it's fine. They don't know who I am so far. So in Sendosa's specific case, these are essentially what I would recommend as like their core foundational landing pages that are always on. So that was another problem that I saw was, demand gen growth teams, digital teams were just drowning. We're just drowning in volume of work, volume of pages, volume of campaigns. And so I'm like, what are the always on campaigns and always on pages that I can just keep happening? And then Austin can go on vacation and not have to worry about it, about like, oh, we got to archive this page and we got to like do a test on that one, or this one's abandoned, whatever. And now we have a landing page orphanage, right? So many orphanages in marketing. And so for Sendosa specifically, this is the framework in terms of what landing pages I would launch if I were you guys. Okay. So from a product details or segment details standpoint, you have your 4 core ICPs. You would launch essentially one landing page per segment, per product, right? Because here's the other mistake we see is that typically companies will say, we have our 3 main value propositions, and they try to have this bundled value prop for the whole company, for all the products, all the ICPs. And what ends up happening is you get the stakeholder soup of like vague value propositions that aren't really saying a lot, right? Like scale, efficiency, So those types of things are too broad for them to understand the value of what you do. So the best way you can do that is to get narrow and then be specific. So you're going to have one. So Sendosa has a core product and platform. So I'm going to say one product, but matched with marketing segment, one product matched with sales, customer success, people teams. What each of these ICPs care about are completely different. So you want to talk to them about it in their language, right? and for their specific use cases and the problems that they're facing in the departments. Now you have a comparison page, which is less about like Sendoso versus ReachDesk. It's more going to be Sendoso versus the alternatives in the market, including an alternative workflow. So it could be Sendoso versus doing it manually, Sendoso versus indecision, right? Trust is anyone looking for Sendoso reviews. Pricing and demo is pretty straightforward there. Okay, questions. Let me see. Okay. So many orphanages. Okay, perfect. Now we're going to go into, this is where you'll know, oh, Tasso's and digital and website. I build everything according to modules. And the reason I do this and do it this way is because essentially you can build these modules, you build these blocks based on the buyer's journey, right? The problem. So we talked about the market, we talked about our solution, we talk about the proof, we talk about the ask that we're making of the buyer. And what ends up happening when you do it modularly, because you're thinking, oh, I'm just going to write landing page by landing page. But what ends up happening is you miss a lot of key information and you're like, oh man, yeah, I had that really good piece in this page, so I'm just going to bring it over. And then you're missing key information from the other page. So then that's what ends up happening, is that you start missing information. So if you start writing in terms of each block in each segment, then what you can do is Tetris your way, or like a Lego set, or whatever analogy you want to use, but you Tetris them into various landing page arrangements here and variations that you could do. So for Sendoso, we're going to focus on product detail for marketing, but you can see here I have heroes for customer success, people, sales, comparison, trust, pricing, demo. Same thing with the problem, right? The problem's not changing all that much for marketing. You can reuse this block on multiple landing pages. Same thing with the value proposition for marketing is going to differ from sales, from customer success to HR. And then your social proof is going to be your owned testimonials. Again, marketing related. How many times you go to a website, you have the same 3 testimonials you find on 2,000 pages of the website, right? Blanket, blanket, blanket. That's a wrong way to repurpose. You still want it to be relevant to the audience that is potentially going to see that page. And then same thing with the sourced. We're going to source testimonials, but not just any testimonial from G2, right? We're going to get ones that look credible. They have a picture, they have a title, they have a company type and size. We're also going to make sure that they're relevant to the marketing specific use case, right? So you can see there. And then I do a light proof. And the light proof is basically a one punch, like one sentence hitter that you can get from either G2 or your own testimonials as well. But this is something that I would put higher up in the page. Based on heat map data that I've seen from my own clients, there are 2 blocks on the page that I'm most interacted with. I'm going to give everybody a minute to guess which 2 you think that is, and then I'll give you the answer here in a few minutes. But I'm going to go through and walk through how I Tetris then based on these blocks and built it into this landing page, okay? So now you see here, we're focusing on Sendoso as a product for marketing. I like to put a little cap here because this is where there's a relevancy between the keyword and the landing page. This is also going to help. I know there's quality scores, people fight over that, but here's the thing. Any little piece that can help you showcase your product, your company higher than the competition in the search results, we're going to try to utilize, right? Why not? So this way, when you call out the product category and you call out who you're for right here, what ends up happening is you don't have to then weave it into the copy later, right? And then you're stuffing as much information as possible. So now you can go in and say, hey, what do marketers care about? They want to book qualified meetings faster using automated yet personalized gifting campaigns. And then you can highlight some of those value props, right? You simplify personalized gifting campaigns with Sendoso, use AI recommendations and remote inventory management. So you remove that admin burden. You focus on creating authentic experiences and booking high intent meetings while having detailed reporting that showcases gifting's influence on revenue. Boom, one sentence. And everything's kind of covered and giving them a taste of what's coming up in more detail later. Here's another chance to call out the ICP, so trusted by marketing teams at these companies. The logos that you pick have to be very specific. If you're going after enterprise, they have to be enterprise logos. If you're going after SMB, SMB logos. If you're going after SMB and you have Target on there, it's going to turn them off. So the devil is in the details when it comes to these things. I always dedicate a block to the problem and being empathetic about the problem that the user is facing, right? Or the buyer is facing. I've had a head of marketing ask me, why would you give this much space to the problem? And my answer is because it's not about us, it's about them, right? So that's what you got to start with. What are the problems? Traditional gifting is tedious and hard to measure, right? At the core, that's the problem. So impersonal gifting, when it's manual, you're doing too much, you're doing all this work, and it's not even a personalized, authentic experience. You're just trying to jam stuff out the door. Tedious management, you're managing this marketing closet with orphaned products sitting in there. You don't have any way to justify the cost to our CFO, who we know is asking us daily to justify the ROI of marketing, especially today in this climate. And then we go into why B2B marketing teams choose Sendoso for personalized sending campaigns. They should be able to just skim the headlines and be able to understand. You can run personalized gifting campaigns at scale. Your fulfillment and inventory is completely managed for you. You can show the influence of gifting on revenue. And each of these will actually go into some of those features and capabilities without boring them with like a matrix of like all the features. And now you're going to go in here and be very selective and make sure that your testimonials look credible, pictures, titles. And I did a couple of ICP interviews, and everyone said, I would love if you could link to a LinkedIn profile directly so that I know it's a real person and it wasn't some fake testimonial. And so that was one of the pieces I added. So here you go. If you're not using Sendoso, you're probably missing out on an opportunity to powerfully connect with your customers. There's more right here. Same thing here. We cleared 7 figures in pipeline generated by direct mail, directly tying back to some of those problems that we were having, right? Oh, I can't measure the influence of gifting. Here's someone who's doing it. Also, shout out Patient Pop. Justin Welch worked here before he went solo. So, and then here's from Rollworks. Sendoso has made the experience of corporate gifting a must-have. And then talking about lowering that sales cycle. So again, showcasing that it's not just gifting. There's more here. And coming from your peers, right? Now, if the head of sales was on the marketing page, like, okay, yeah, somewhat relevant, not completely relevant to me. And then the FAQs. Oh, look, I gave up the answer right there. So FAQs, super important too. And then the what you can expect. This is arguably the most important block because you're telling them what they're getting in exchange for their time. What I love about Sendoso's process, this. You'll receive an email to book a meeting. You will meet directly with an AE, no SDR gatekeepers. The AEs will give you a demo of the Sendoso platform. We'll answer any questions about your use cases. If you like what you see, we'll help you get set up and drive some quick wins. And there you have, the expectations, and it lowers that friction to filling out this information. And then I do a minimal footer or no footer. Typically, if I do a minimal footer, it's very strategic placement of where they could logically go next. This captures in case we got the wrong. So it's a salesperson who accidentally got caught in the marketing campaign. Totally happens. They can actually go to the Sendoso for sales, and that'll take them to the landing page for sales. And then if they want to explore more about Sendoso, they can look at the reviews, compare the plans, or schedule a demo, which, by the way, are all landing pages that we would have built in our little Chipotle framework. So that's how I would utilize this here. That was a lot.
Oh
Please tell me questions.
I'm just like
feedback.
wishing and hoping. Is there like a way? Is there a wireframe? I'm guessing it's obviously not on Sendoso's like domain yet, but I just like want to see it. When I click through it, I want to experience it. Like, how can we see it? It's just here.
Well, we can typically do like a PDF version also. That's how we like deliver it to the clients. I usually give my clients just full access to the Figma, and then they launch it and send me the review link where I look at it, make any suggestions, but I also then help them with the setup to say, okay, this is the typical URL that I would, recommend utilizing for this page. You got to set up heat maps. And then every 2 weeks, we look at session recordings, we look at heat map data, and we look at how people are consuming information on both the blog and the landing page, because you can't get conversions until you get users to consume the page. So I call it consumption rate optimization, TM. TM, baby.
TM. I love that. Okay, this is too good. And I would love to see. I mean, I think it'd be crazy if Sendoso didn't try to use it, but maybe I'm biased just because I sort of was around to experience and see all of the heart and thought that went into you guys creating it. But I love your framework. Like I want to use it for reveting. Like one day, like we can
Use
get
it.
there. You know, it's like it's so good. Both of you are doing really awesome things, and we still have 2 more topics to get into. I want to get into it. I want to hear more about the landing page. All of you, like, ask your questions. Like, you have Lashay and Taz both here right now. They're expert marketers. They know more than me on a lot of this stuff. I mean, like, they have really figured out how to make an expert, like, landing page that like converts, and then also the BOFU focus, Lashay, like I feel like that's just such a needed and unique position that you're bringing into B2B. So yeah, audience, come up with your questions and enter to win comments because we're going to get into these last 2 topics right after these messages. I want to show you how to do a voicemail drop. And voicemail drops can be really creative ways to reach your audience. And, you know, many of us are spending a lot of time on the phone making calls, but hey, I'm here over in marketing to report that you can do a mass voicemail drop. And let me show you how. Log into my account here, Reveting. The hard part about any campaign is knowing your audience and knowing what you're going to say to them. Yeah, definitely check out Lead Magic if you haven't already. So what I love about Lead Magic is their lead scraper. You can see that right here. Also, another thing are the technographics. Then import that into High Level. So High Level for me, it's white labeled. It's app.reveting.com. So when you go in here, you're going to want to, you can get your contacts in here however you want, with the ones that you want to do the voicemail drop with. Once you know who you're sending your voicemail drop to, create a new workflow from scratch. And you can add in your trigger, which would be the tag that you add. For me, and for this example, I'll go ahead and say tag added, and it will be anyone who downloads my free LinkedIn 5-day challenge workbook that's on my LinkedIn page. And if you get that, we'll go ahead and wait just for a minute, save action, and then we're going to do voicemail. All right, so now I need to get a voicemail and I need an audio file. And luckily I have this just like free online tool. You can go to 123apps or online-voice-recorder.com. You can see it on the screen. And I am just going to record a voicemail. Hey, it's Jessie Lezak. Wanted to follow up with you about the 5-day challenge workbook and course that you downloaded and see what you thought of it, if you've had a chance to complete it, and how I can support you on your journey to LinkedIn growth. Give me a call back anytime. My cell phone number is 510-335-9355. Thank you so much. Bye-bye. We'll move this in a little bit. Move that in just a tad. Save. Open so I can't see. So here is my recording. There it is. It's loading. Hey, it's Jessie Lezak. Wanted to follow up with you about the 5-day challenge workbook and course that you did. And that's how people will get into the voicemail drop. And I think you should try a voicemail drop too. And if you would like some support on that, I would love to help you. Just give me a call. You already heard my number in the recording, 510-335-9355, or you can email me at Jessie, just my first name, JESSIE @reveting.com. That's REVETING.com. Hope to help you with your voicemail drop here soon.
Check these emails. Wait, I need to write the script. Oh my god, I forgot to schedule all my content last week.
I know the chaos of running a one-person business can feel too much sometimes. Carry Assistant has become my secret weapon to success. Having an actual niche assistant has been so game-changing. But since bringing on one of their virtual assistants, they have been handling all my nitty-gritty tasks, from DMing people on my socials to following up with leads, even doing the cold outreach for me. Plus, to help with all the tedious admin tasks like managing emails, scheduling appointments, reminding me of appointments. Just imagine imagine the time that you're going to have when you have an actual niche virtual assistant helping you with all these things. So with Cherry Assistant, you're never going to have to worry about the little things again. You get on a call with them. That way they can actually gauge your business needs and they're going to help you fill the gaps. You go to cherrysystem.com, you can get on a call with one of them and they're going to help you find your person. Now you can actually finally free up some time to focus on building your empire.
Oh, wait. So thank you, everyone. Big thanks to our sponsors. And I just saw a private comment from Taz that people are saying they think it crashed. Maybe make a comment. So what, LinkedIn crashed? Like the live stream?
I don't know, but looking at the comments, some people were worried that it was crashing, but Katie said if you refresh, it should be back up. But
yeah, LinkedIn is a little wonky.
yeah, she's like, Angelique, is the event done? It's not done. Stay with us, Angelique.
You have to give away prizes. If you're having issues, you can also go over to YouTube. LinkedIn doesn't like when I share YouTube links, but I did just put it in the comments. So you can check it out there. But we got to give away these prizes, and we still have to close out the topics. So
Look,
we
it
really
keeps. Sorry, Jesse. Yeah, it keeps buffering, is what someone said. So yeah,
yeah, you got to
hopefully we can do
refresh
it.
on LinkedIn.
Yeah.
LinkedIn is not great for live streaming. You have to use a third-party tool. It's not as good as like Facebook, unfortunately.
Katie's here. That's all that matters.
Katie's here. She's been here before, so she knows how LinkedIn works.
Yeah.
It's so like, yeah, just keep refreshing. I'm so sorry. YouTube is better. YouTube, you don't have to like keep refreshing on their live streams. But yeah, after so long on LinkedIn and we're past an hour, it's going to start like glitching out.
Mm-hmm.
So let's finish out the topic. So we've got measuring organic success and optimation/iterations and measuring paid success and optimizations/iterations. So basically organic success and paid success. We were going to break them up, but can we sort of wrap up with both topics? What do you both think?
Yeah, totally.
Sure. Yeah.
So how
I
do
can
we
wrap it up right now.
Yeah.
Can you guys see that?
Wait, let me zoom in here.
GA4.
So
Yes.
shot this. This is how we're gonna wrap up how to track this stuff. GA4 sucks.
Tell us how you really feel, Lashay.
I got a lot on my chest with GA4. Like they're shaving conversions, they're doing all types of stuff. Like GA4 is so bad. So I'm gonna give y'all a couple alternatives when we start diving into like the tracking and stuff. I'm gonna give y'all some alternatives to third-party stuff that we can use to, you know, track the content, because I like to get very specific with my tracking. So I like to be able to show which specific BOFU articles are driving MQLs, SQLs, whatever acronym you want to put on it, however you track that. But I like to get very specific with conversions. So I have a little block. If Taz, if you could share your screen, I've got a little block to show y'all. It's just real quick. Side note too, I have a template for you guys. I don't know how many people in here have downloaded my content marketing dashboard yet. I'm going to give Jessie the link for that so she can share it with all you guys. But I have a Looker Studio template in the dashboard where you guys can literally duplicate it, connect it to your GA4 and have all this information. All right. So funny enough, I have to relate this. So
Thank you.
Taz's husband is awesome at analytics. He built this for me. Shout out Nash, y'all. Anything BI analytics related, hit him up. But he built this for me. And again, what it does is it gets very specific on which articles are driving conversion. So if you can see those two arrows, I see one a little bit. Taz, can you zoom in a little teeny bit? There you go. And then move it down a little bit. There we go. So 2 bottom of funnel articles that are converting. And again, this is a really big pain point for companies. A lot of companies are using HubSpot to try and track their content. I even find people having trouble with HubSpot when trying to track, right? So again, I have a Looker Studio template. I'll give Jesse the link to give you guys to go download that. But, and here goes a little bit of Inception. I got a bottom of funnel keyword for you guys. Go
I
ahead.
just gotta say really quick, high level is way better at tracking than the one that you just mentioned.
Okay.
Oh,
Okay. All right, y'all. We're plugging high level now. Taz, if you could back up and scroll over to the right a little bit, I have a nice bottom of funnel keyword for them there. And any other tracking companies that want to push your product on the blogging side, GA4 alternatives. I promise your organic traffic will blow up overnight because GA4 sucks. Okay. The top GA4 alternatives that I've seen that are able to track bottom of funnel content specifically are Leadfeeder. One of my clients is using Leadfeeder. They're amazing. Amplitude, Taz can tell you more about them, and Dream Data. Shout out to all three of these companies again for making tracking really, really simple. And again, it's really important to understand what's driving pipeline, because the way Taz's and I's strategy play together is when somebody comes in on the BOFU article, a lot of times they might not convert that first time. Sometimes they do. Oftentimes they might not. So if they don't, if they come in on the bottom of funnel blog and they leave, what happens is that same landing page that Taz created, you can actually retarget that same person with her landing page that came in on the bottom of funnel blog. Again, because the two frameworks coincide with one another. So if, again, the person comes in on the bottom of funnel blog, they don't convert there, they're retargeted with a paid ad landings page, the same one that Taz made. And again, we have several of these frameworks that we use, but that's how the flow of this goes. And again, and I want to let Taz say this part because she says it so wonderfully, but we almost use it as a sandbox, right? So if we find something that's converting well on the organic side, we'll roll it out to paid. If we find something good that's converting on the paid side, we'll roll it back into organic. So both of these strategies play into one another. Okay. There's my rant about tracking. Again, I have a Looker Studio template. I'm going to give Jesse the link for you guys to be able to download the dashboard. Within the dashboard, if you go in the GA tracking section, it's a nice little template in there for you guys. All you got to do is connect your GA4 to it. It has multiple pages, tons of goods for you guys.
so cool. Love it. Thank you for sharing that.
Yes.
And thanks for sharing it with the audience too. That's so cool. So we'll just drop it in the link here and all the live streams. So people should get comments even after the show. Like this whole entire episode will remain on that same LinkedIn link, on the same YouTube link that y'all are on right now, that if you want to go back, you can see it. So we'll just drop it in the comments here.
Sure.
After the show, so anyone can find it. But I'll also include it in the newsletter next week. So if you're not on the newsletter, just head on over to reveting.com and you'll get a pop-up. And if you don't, you can just scroll down on the bottom of the page to register. And we do a recap each week of the episode. But no, that was awesome. I would love to hear from the audience. Does anyone have any questions on any of this? Or like, if people wanted to get your help on landing page or BOFU from either of you, like, how could they go about doing so? So both of you are running your own businesses independently, but you also partner a lot. Could you both just tell us a little bit about that? So Taz, we'll start with you. Like, tell us about what you're doing. If people wanted to work with you, like, first of all, what type of people are you normally helping? Exactly how are you helping them? And then how could they reach out to you if they wanted to connect with you and work with you?
Yeah, absolutely. So I find that the people who work best with me are B2B SaaS companies. They have product market fit. They're spending on paid ads and they're looking to scale. So I have sometimes companies who come to me, they're pretty early stage. They're not sure if they have product market fit yet. They're trying to experiment with paid ads for the first time. This is probably not the situation for you. And I practice what I preach. I enable you to self-qualify, and we'll give you some ideas on what you need to do before you get to that point. And I've told many, many, many founders, don't spend money on paid ads yet, right? And so I'm not married to how much you're spending in paid ads, which is great because then the defenses are down. But those are kind of the general requirements, is that you also have somebody to build in-house. I do wireframes with finished copy. I don't actually build the landing pages in there. I could. It's just a way for me to scale and be faster and help a lot more people if I'm like more tool agnostic. I do have resources that can help with that, not entering my company, but just partners that I work with. So I can definitely refer you if you need that. But the best way to get a hold of me is just either DM me or on my profile on LinkedIn. You can find a little form where I ask some questions, and then we can schedule some time to chat together. And then I'm going to speak a little bit for Lashay, where she also works with companies that have product market fit. In terms, we do have some overlap in clients, like we talked about the one earlier today. But yeah, take it, Lashay.
Same with me, guys. If any of you guys thinking about creating a bottom of funnel strategy, couple little requirements. Like, we just want to make sure we have your product market fit. I tend to work with early stage companies, could be seed, series A. Also, I work with later stage companies too, all the way up until publicly traded IPO companies, and typically companies that are horizontal, where you have multiple segments that you're trying to target, usually work best because we can exhaust more from the bottom of funnel aspect. But yeah, if you want to reach out to me, just send me a DM. My DMs are always open, slide in them. And then if you'd also like to, you could book a call. We'll just go over a couple of things that you need help with. If you have a content team, I can work with your content team to be able to produce the bottom of funnel content. If you're lean on resources and you don't have a content team, I can absorb that and create it for you. So it's something I'm still playing with. But yes. So if you need help with your BOFU strategy, BOFU Queen in the building, hit me up.
I love that. So Andrea's asking Taz, how is your LinkedIn profile playing your live video in your banner?
Oh, I actually just went and checked that because I'm like, what is he? What? Well, I don't know if it's.
It's because you're streaming live.
But it's because
That's
I'm
what
streaming
happened.
through here. She had a button in StreamYard that said stream to your audience on LinkedIn. And so I just hit that button, and that's how it's so I'm seeing it for the first time too, to be honest. Yeah, as digital as I am.
Yes, she is live streaming. Thank you for that. And also, both of you were giving away a prize, and we still have to give away a prize. Could you explain, if people put in hashtag revenue, and some of them have already, and that's fine, they can still win. We'll follow up with an email with them afterwards. But what will they be getting if they win this hashtag revenue?
So that entire buyer's journey canvas that we walked through, we could essentially do something like that, where you could send us some of your internal docs. We're happy to sign NDAs and whatever, but give us some of supplies with this list of internal docs that we will tell you, and then we'll also marry it with the external perception of your product and company and build that canvas out for you. And then we will get on this power hour where we will walk through the canvas, and then you just get it at the end of the call. We ask you to send that stuff to us ahead of time, because if we're actually sitting there building it, I mean, it took us a few hours to do Sendoso. So we will actually do the pre-work before we actually meet, so that we're utilizing your time effectively. But the other option is, if you're like, I don't care about that, and you just want to have both of us on a 1 hour conversation to audit what you're doing currently, or have any questions or whatever, we're happy to do it that way too. But essentially, you get a consulting hour with us. We're just giving you an idea of something that we could do as well.
That's incredible. You both are so skilled. So whoever wins this is super lucky. And I'm super grateful that you shared this. So we have to give away prizes. But before we do, we still have one more segment we haven't gotten to. And I don't know, my voice is a little bit dry tonight, but I will still sing the Guru of the Week. Ooh, ooh. So drum roll. I'm going to take myself out of the screen, put y'all full screen. Could you please tell us why you chose these Gurus of the Week?
Oh, we're flipped. Okay. There we go.
Yeah.
You go.
So I chose Alexander because number one, he's so supportive. First of all, a lot of y'all are supportive on everything that I do. So I just want to be very clear with that. But the reason I chose Alexander because he's starting to create content visuals as well. And his visuals are so well articulated. And a lot of the stuff that he puts out helps me conceptualize things from a different point of view. And usually I'm the one like putting out most of the visuals around BOFU and content marketing and things like that. But shout out Alexander. He's a B2B consultant. He's, you know, growing on the platform. So I just wanted to give somebody some shine that maybe not everybody knows and just, you know, put out there that he's doing amazing work. So shout out Alexander. Yes.
Okay, and I'm gonna go for Natalie Taylor. She's the head of marketing at Capsule, and I actually selected her before this happened, but now this has happened, so this is great. But she was just on with Dave on the Exit 5 podcast, and they did a live webinar where they talked about these couple of campaigns that she ran. She's super scrappy, right? I think marketing team of 1 or 2 or something like that over there, but she was definitely marketer 1 there. And she first found me from a comment on Dave Gerhardt's post one day, long before I was still in-house. And she said that she wanted more women and representation on the feed, and that she supported me getting on Dave's podcast. But also the scrappy marketing that she's been doing is very centered around relationships and using quote unquote influencers, but she did it right, where she banded together for a couple of product launches and does incredible like videos of her utilizing her same product and evangelizing Capsule. So she's doing some amazing stuff there. I would absolutely follow her and make sure that you are keeping up with what she's doing, because she's scrappy marketing, but just authentic, real, and she's just really creating waves, doing it for what I would imagine is not as much money as some companies are spending on paid, even in a month. I bet she's not doing for the entire year. So,
yeah, Capsule's homepage is amazing too.
Yeah,
Side note, really cool.
Capsules. Can you spell it out loud for everyone?
yeah, like a capsule, like a pill, like a capsule. But it's the actual. I want to make sure that I don't butcher their website. It's .io, I think.
.io. Okay.
Yeah.
Is it capsule.video?
Is it?
Okay, I think it might be capsule.video.
Ooh, we got to get a link.
Yeah, we got to get a link. Let's
And
look. Oh yeah, capsule.video. She's right. Lashay is right.
I love that. Capsule.video. That's a new one for me. I haven't heard of that before.
I'll put that in the private chat, but because I can't comment, so you can comment on there.
Yes, you'll have to pull LinkedIn on another tab if you want to comment, but I would just dropped it in LinkedIn for everyone. Let me put it in YouTube too, because I know some people moved over there. But we have to give away prizes. So if you haven't entered to win, you have a few minutes to do so. Like if you put high level in the comments and you tag high level, or if you're in YouTube, just type out high level, one word, to enter to win the swag pack. Tag Cherry Assistant in LinkedIn, or just put Cherry Assistant 2 words in the chat if you're in Facebook or YouTube or Twitch, and you will get 10 hours free. That's what you're entering to win. One person will win 10 hours free for Cherry Assistant. And you saw like on the ad, all the stuff they're giving away. So they'll help with your social media content. They help me create all of the materials for tonight's show. Lashay and Taz, you saw all the emails that Sabrina was sending you pre-show to help me organize this entire event. I couldn't do it without her. And also do all these other things for my business. So she's really like awesome. And they'll line you up with people with the need that you have. So I couldn't speak higher of them. But yeah, get 10 hours free virtual assistant service. Hashtag AI will get you 10 free blogs with Open Draft. They climb super fast in Product Hunt, but basically it's more than just ChatGPT, because you can plug in like your long tail keywords, and I don't know, they'll give you a title and it's just smarter. Like they already have, it's like all the prompts basically built out for you to make an actual smart blog for you. So try it out. What's there to lose? enter to win. Oh, I didn't mention too, the headset, it's wireless. So if you're on your Zoom calls and you're just sitting in front of your computer, it becomes a lot, right? It's nice to step away once in a while. And that's what this headset does. It has really great noise canceling quality. Headset Advisor, it's like one of the best. They like sales teams use Headset Advisor. So like get your own, enter to win. Hashtag winning will get it for you. Hashtag email gets you 1 year of Lavender Pro free. So Lavender Pro free, it's a Chrome extension and it helps you with all different parts of your email, and particularly your cold email, like your tone, how long it is. That's really where it helps me, is like, because I can be very verbose. So it makes me more concise when I'm using it for sales. But also, if you put in hashtag marketing, you're entering to win 1 month free of my coaching program, where we do high level StreamYard, but also we talk about building your personal brand. So we build personal brand strategy to make consistent posting much easier, because then you figure out what you want to be known for, so you can post about it 1,000 different ways. But I want to help you do that. Come for a month, put hashtag marketing in to enter to win. And then we just talked about hashtag revenue. So put it all in. I'm going to go ahead and start giving away prizes. We don't have Erica here per usual. So the regular music, I'm going to try to do it all. So we've got 10 entries, and WinsDay or Reveting cannot be one of them. Who's going to win? Is it going to be Tony? Is it going to be Lisa? Maybe Tracy? Janelle. Congratulations, Janelle. You are the winner of the high level swag pack. So we will connect with you. Sabrina will be on it in the DMs. But if you could go to what she's going to be asking you to do, go to reveting.com/winner and fill out the form so we can get your shirt size and your address and all of those details, so that we can connect you with high level and get you that swag pack. So congratulations. LOL. I don't know if I'm allowed to enter to win this one, but hashtag revenue. Yes, you are allowed to enter to win, Katie. So let's go ahead and give away prize 2. And we're only on prize 2, so you can still enter to win on prize 3 and below. Let me go ahead and give away another prize. Let's give away, not hashtag revenue. We'll give you time on that one. Where is Cherry Assistant? Here we go. 10 entries. Is it going to be Lisa, Tony? I saw Angelique. Reveting can't win. I'm not going to win. Kathleen, Tony. No, we're going to draw again. Sorry. This is when I was like telling everyone how to enter all the prizes at once. It entered me to win. Do not land on Reveting. No, we're going to do this one more time. I wish I could pull those out to go delete that comment. Otherwise, I keep seeing Tony. I don't know. Maybe Tracy. Congratulations, Tracy. You are the winner. Please head on over to reveting.com/winner and share your details with us so we can connect you with the brands in an email. Congratulations. You are going to love Cherry Assistant. I'm really excited for you. So let's go ahead. This is so much different without the music. The regular person who typically is background. She's in San Francisco today visiting family. Actually, she went Southern California this time. But so this is hashtag AI. Katie Penner. I believe we have your information, but if you could go to reveting.com/winner and fill that out just to make sure we have all your details, that would be great. We would love to connect you with the brand. And let's go ahead and I'm just going to keep this low and not turn the music on and off, because normally we turn it on and off in between each prize. But to me, it's just more fun when there's music. I don't know if you have. Anyway, hashtag winning. This is the headset. Please don't land on WinsDay. Is it going to be Janelle, Carly, Rohit? We got Angelique. Congratulations. You are winning the wireless headset from Headset Advisor. It is a high quality headset too, so you are lucky. I am going to ask you to fill out reveting.com/winner so we can get your information and connect you in an email with Headset Advisor. Go ahead and give away another prize. Because it's like here. Why not? Let's give away. Let's see. One more prize? No, we have 3 more prizes to give away. Hashtag email. We've got Angelique, Kathleen, Lisa, Carly, Angelique? Not me. No. Okay, I'm going to manifest. It's not going to be Revening. No, it's going to be Janelle or Angelique. Carly, you are the winner. Congratulations. If you go to revening.com/winner, you are the winner of the Lavender Pro. Congratulations. So let's give away one more. Who's going to win my coaching program? There are 12 entries. We've got Carly. We've got Tony. We've got Angelique. We've got Andrea, Tony, Lisa, Janelle, Angelique. Congratulations. I don't know. It might be your night. You've won a couple prizes. Maybe you should go get a lottery ticket. Not sure. Just saying. You're looking kind of lucky. Let's see. #revenue. Okay, there's 14 entries. This is the most. So who wants the guest prizes? Is it Janelle, Katie, Angie, Lisa? Congratulations, Lisa. I just talked with Lisa today. Lisa has a business of her own. She has Simply Delicious or Safely Delicious. And so she is making different health food bars that are allergy free. And it started with her kids who had all these different allergies, but she's in multiple grocery stores and doing some really impressive stuff. So I'm excited for you all to meet her. And yeah, she's going to be coming on the show too. So everyone will get to meet Lisa. Congratulations to all the winners. Big thanks to our guests for coming on. And before we close out, I have one last thing that I want to share, but I do want to ask both guests if there's anything you want to share. But before I ask you that, I just want to share that next week we have Leslie Greenwood and Melissa Moody coming on. And this is not next week. Here, let me change the camera angle because I don't want to hide anyone. It's actually July 10th because next week is the 4th of July, y'all. Happy birthday, America. So in 2 weeks, we have on Leslie Greenwood and Melissa Moody with Wednesday Women coming on Wednesday. It's going to be a hit. But before we go, Taz, Lashay, what else would you like to add?
Well, for me, I'm just going to thank everybody so much for coming. Like, y'all's support means the world to us. Like, we're coming from 2 different backgrounds. Taz being in-house, me being agency/in-house, and you guys have done nothing but love and support us since coming on LinkedIn. So we just want to thank you guys so much. Thank you so much to the Sendoso team for allowing us to dissect your product like this live. We appreciate you guys so, so much. Thank you.
Absolutely. 100%. Thank you for saying that. And how about you, Taz?
Yeah, same here. Thanks for staying. Maybe I wasn't as unhinged as I promised. So sorry I didn't deliver on that. I was trying not to get kicked out, but yeah, thanks for it was totally worth staying up late. Definitely gonna go have a celebration ice cream. As I told Lashay, I'm like, I'm gonna celebrate with ice cream because I'm like borderline straight edge. No whiskey here. And thank you guys so much for your support. And thanks for supporting a rowdy, ratchet, brown woman on LinkedIn. Just out here fighting for my life. So
aren't we all? I love
Yeah.
it. And you can catch us all in Vermont. I'm sure we'll be posting some pictures together. I cannot wait to meet you in real life. It's going to be unhinged as we thought tonight would be. But until then, and until 2 weeks from now, I hope you all stay safe and we'll see you later.